welcome to Well-Led Schools, a show that helps school leaders, aspiring leaders and wellbeing advocates improve culture and lead their school with wellbeing in mind. Addressing staff wellbeing and teacher burnout is a challenge when we don't have a wellbeing action plan. The most recent data suggests that close to 75% of our teachers and staff are stressed, with 30% of those cases being extreme. What's worse is that according to some studies throughout the pandemic, an alarming 84% considered leaving the profession. This shows us that there's a dire need to focus on staff wellbeing so that we can prevent further staff shortages and stop the endless cycle of stress that many school staff are experiencing. In today's episode 5 of Well-Led Schools, we'll be exploring what a wellbeing action plan is and what a well-constructed action plan looks like. But before we get right into it, I'm Adrienne Hornby, a health and wellbeing consultant for schools and former school leader. And I work alongside school leaders and their staff to build and embed a tailored staff wellbeing action plan. Their plan will nurture a positive school environment and address teacher burnout so that they can improve school outcomes and performance. I'll be bringing you useful bite-sized episodes that share practical ideas to improve staff wellbeing by putting people first, then pedagogy. So let's get started. We knew that staff burnout and stress was a problem long before the pandemic hit, but I think it's safe to say that since COVID, we're beginning to operate in survival mode. Staff engagement and effectiveness and schools culture largely depends on the school's ability to manage and promote staff wellbeing in the workplace effectively. Now, I'm here today to tell you that our staff wellbeing action plan is the most effective tool to improve culture and staff wellbeing in your school going into 2023. And I want to reiterate that your school can't afford to go another year without one. Now, a wellbeing action plan provides a strategy for a school to develop a healthy and happy workplace, capable of ongoing growth and achieved outcomes for our students. Too often, well-intentioned leaders are quick to plan the strategic outcomes that they desire for their school. I mean, we don't really have any other option than to do that. That's part of our job. Yet some might fail to consider how their people will actually have the capacity to get them to those outcomes. When I review school annual or strategic action plans, I rarely see much mention made of staff wellbeing. What an oversight that is. And this is a systemic problem, I know, which is exactly why we need a plan for our people that runs concurrently with our school strategic plan for our students. Wellbeing action plans are an evidence-based system used worldwide to manage staff health and wellbeing. They are a collaborative document created in conjunction with the staff. These plans help to identify priority areas and actions needed to work towards school improvement. Each plan should be specifically designed to promote a positive workplace culture in each individual school. They're all going to be different. Now, the concept of a workplace wellbeing action plan isn't new. Leading organisations like Beyond Blue, the Black Dog Institute and Heads Up all recommend workplaces make these crucial considerations to preserve the health and wellbeing of all staff, and particularly as we face growing challenges in our school. The problem is that leaders and organisations are developing action plans because it's the new trendy thing to do, and they don't have all the tools or know how to do it well. A wellbeing action plan is the document that guides your wellbeing strategy, and it must be developed following a clear and systemised approach, not behind the closed doors of a leadership team meeting or as a tick and flick wellbeing initiative. In order for action plans to be effective at creating needle-moving change, they have to be supported by a few key considerations. The best kinds of action plans are developed to support the areas of need for your school. They are not built on using scattergun, surface-level approaches that miss the mark entirely. Before ever creating an action plan, we have to get to the source of the problem so it can be appropriately addressed. Additionally, your staff need to know where they're headed regards to improving school culture and staff wellbeing. Co-creating a vision with your staff helps them to see why the actions are what they are, and they know the direction that the school is headed in. Without a vision, there's no purpose. Without a purpose, staff just end up confused. Also, in order for action plans to be effective, they need to be built in consultation with staff and for your staff. This means that your action plans needs to be constructed with the consultation and collaboration of your people. After all, if this plan is going to affect them, it's only right that they have a say. Wouldn't you agree? The next point is that action plans should be constructed using the 6 areas of the PERMA model. I went into detail about positive psychology's PERMA model in last week's episode, so be sure to go back and catch that if you missed it. The approach I use when consulting schools leans heavily on the principles of the PERMA model. A plan that considers actions across each of those pillars that contribute to our well-being ensures that you're taking a holistic or integrated approach versus a more narrow one that might not properly address all of the contributing factors of our staff's well-being, support, and psychological safety. Next up, it's important that the action plan includes actions, roles, and responsibilities for leaders, teachers, and staff. Recognizing that it's a joint responsibility of all school staff is an important aspect of carrying out your plan successfully. When everybody's roles and responsibilities are clear, there's more accountability and therefore more results. Moving on, the best kind of action plans consider the culture building, prevention, and intervention strategies required to address the priority areas. Too often, I see schools only applying band-aid initiatives like morning teas, after-work drinks, and one-off wellbeing workshops. A properly developed action plan takes into account how many staff are experiencing burnout in the school or poor mental health, and this number dictates whether specific interventions might be required and therefore training given. Finally, the best kind of action plans encourage each school community member to consider things that they can do, so that's actions, things they can master, skills, and things they can learn to influence a change in your school. Actions alone are not enough. Your leaders and staff may need to learn more about how to manage mental health, communicate, and prevent burnout, for example. In order to make a significant change in their wellbeing and school community, we must consider all of these factors. When all of these factors are considered, you can build a solid wellbeing action plan that will help your school or organisation focus more closely on improving and maintaining staff wellbeing in order to achieve those desired outcomes and goals. In our Well-Led Schools program, I partner with schools over a 12-month period where we'll work together to first identify your school's vision and priority areas of need, and then build a tailored wellbeing action plan that strategically targets these areas. This isn't a process that can be rushed or done quickly if you want it done well. Doors are open now for you to join us in 2023 and they close on November 18. Over the year, we'll survey your staff to pinpoint stresses and find out what initiatives that they think would be most helpful. We'll consult with staff to decide on priority areas. We'll upskill leaders and staff in high leverage ways to support wellbeing using up-to-date practices that will make their action plan great. We'll also build a vision to guide the action plan, agree on the joint responsibilities of how we'll all get there collectively, and we'll end the year with a high impact plan and wellbeing policy ready to implement real change. As I said before, doors to the program only open once per term and they're currently open until Friday, November 18. Visit adriennehornby.com.au/school-partnerships to learn more and hopefully join us today. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 5. If you like what was covered today, don't forget to like this video wherever you're seeing it, subscribe to stay updated, and share this with other leaders or school staff who might benefit from learning about practical ways to improve staff wellbeing at their school or who might need a wellbeing action plan. I'm Adrienne Hornby. Thank you so much for joining me and stay well.